This is day, I don't know, 21, so 7 plus 15 is 22. 365 minus 22, or 7, I don't know. I can't do math. So this is day 708. Quarantine, pandemic started March 15th of 2020, so almost 2 years. I've gone through a bunch of changes, and now it's time to go back out into the world. And I gotta be honest, it scares the shit out of me. So this is me trying to learn how to live in this f***ed up world again. My name is Brian. I'm 38 years old. I own a video production company. I spent my whole life chasing the movie dream, making movies, which has been really fun. Been a very driven person my whole life for years and years and years. I was always very focused on science and math and logic. So that's where I was, and I wasn't happy. And I didn't know I wasn't happy because I didn't really have any level of self-awareness. I was very in my head all the time. And then when the pandemic hit, I just jumped into this idea of just connecting with energies and spirits and connecting with whatever God was and trying to figure out what that looked like. And so I spent pretty much 2 years at home alone. Obviously, I was still going to work and still doing some stuff, but it was a pretty quiet time. And I got to like it. I actually got to like it a whole bunch. And I read dozens of books. And I started practicing tarot. And I was drawn through synchronicities into ritual magic and stones and astrology and all these things that I used to just laugh at. This is my workstation. This is where it's kind of an altar. It's a workspace. I do lots of tarot readings here. I'll burn candles and do little, made up rituals that I come up with to kind of imbue things with energy. So here's one of my favorite tarot decks. This is the Hermetic Tarot deck. This is another deck that I love. This is the Thoth deck. These are my rocks that I've charged for working with cards. This is Road Opener, so bringing in a little bit of voodoo hoodoo kind of flavor. This is Florida Water, which is kind of my all-purpose anointing idea. This is a furba, so this is used in Buddhist rituals and practices to. It's this scary guy here is to scare away demons, which again, demons are in our minds. Demons are also real because we're connected to everything. So in Buddhism, everything is one, which is emptiness. So I've gone completely off the deep end, but it's fun and it's meaningful, and that's it. It's fun and it's meaningful. So why fight it? I don't think that it's like this is the truth and these are absolute. I think it's more, hey, why don't you look at the symbolism that's been here for centuries and, find how things connect. The hard part, I thought, was always going to be having to be alone for COVID. But it turns out the hard part is things starting up. When things started to kind of get back to normal, my anxiety, which has always been a part of me, just went through the roof. And I became almost non-functional. And I took the big step of medicating. And that's helped. That's helped a whole lot, and I'm still working on myself. I take a lot of baths, read a lot of books in the bath, and I drink a lot of coffee. My brain is jumping between work and stress and anxiety and what am I going to do with my life and where am I going and why am I interested in the things I'm interested in. So I realized yesterday that I have this tendency to make really weird faces and I look crazy. Then, in the middle of all this last night, Russia invaded Ukraine.
I do this weird thing where I just look like I'm disgusted by everything. There's just an energy in the world and people can't put a name to it. I guess that's the first thing I learned in doing this video, that I look like a crazy psychopath. They exaggerate things that are going wrong in their lives and freak out because they need to deal with this energy, but they don't have any way to deal with it other than creating storylines. But I'm not as crazy as I look, I promise. I'm probably doing the exact same thing, but that's what crazy people say. I'm thinking of shaving the beard.
I grew this beard because I thought it made me look like a wizard, but really, I just look like a homeless man. Alright, where'd my glasses go? It's a crazy weird time because now everyone's just ready to let go and forget about COVID. I feel like everyone just wants to get back to normal. And I don't know what back to normal means anymore because so much inside has changed. I don't know where I'm going, and that's the first time in my life. I've always been very, I call it Sagittarius energy. I've always pointed the arrow and shot it, and I get there and I accomplish my goals, and then I move on to the next goal. And for the first time, I'm not setting those goals. I'm just seeing where I'm drawn, and I'm curious where I'm gonna end up. And I'm scared shitless. So today we are heading to the middle of nowhere, Kentucky to see a friend. This is an excuse for Janelle to kind of see her friend and for me to kind of play around with spooky things. We're going in Janelle's camper. So we've got to figure out how to pack everything. And this is kind of a test trip to see if we can actually make this work and do some fun projects and run around, and we'll see. So stay tuned. Yo, what up, homies? It's me and my homegirl Janelle. We're just living in the van life. You see this beautiful van? We're on the road now. We're going, as you can see, van life, bro! One of these.
If we don't get him help, he is going to kill himself or he's going to kill me. Right. We'll get rid of the lizard people and the CIA, and we'll get rid of the QAnon, and we'll get rid of all of it. Ghostbusters. All right. I'll talk to you later.
What the hell's going on?
Well, I can't really talk about it on camera, but
Okay.
basically I have ran into a time traveler. We don't share his identity because we're trying to get him help to get him better. He believes that he was visited briefly by John Teeter, who was the time traveler from 1975 that infiltrated IBM. So I got abducted by QAnon this past weekend. That is true. And I was flown first class to Shreveport, Louisiana to find an encrypted document that had some kind of test encryption for Elon Musk and the leftover family members of Epstein. So I'm pretty sure I got abducted by MK Ultra and QAnon this past weekend. I just ate a lot of fucking crawfish and just held my butt cheeks really tight because Homeland Security was looking through our for bombs and stuff, and it got real, man. So yeah, and I was talking to his second mother there on how to get him apprehended by the authorities to get him some help. And that's where I've been the last couple weeks, time traveling. Yep. Hi! It's weird because when it comes to time travel and ghosts, demons, angels, God, whatever, it's always 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because you can't exactly dispel it, but you can't exactly say, yes, it's real too. While researching for our little stuff for this weekend, I discovered that here in Kentucky, somewhere in eastern Kentucky, there is such a thing called meth hogs. But the meth hogs are literally 1,000-pound boars that have been mutated, that have eaten the waste out of meth labs in eastern Kentucky, and then they just kept breeding, and it did something to their genetics. And now there's demon meth hogs that terrorize people.
I believe it.
I do too. If meth hogs exist, then Methy the meth monster...
Well, it does exist. Methy the meth monster is very real.
Very f***ing real. We seen it. We seen it. We seen it! Let's read it on Pinterest.
Oh,
Teresa's haunted history of the tri-state area. Kentucky's lake monsters. Now, Kentucky definitely isn't a state that I would normally associate with high concentration of aquatic cryptids. But these two stories certainly suggest something strange is going on in those waters. Ah!
Oh, yep.
They did find Methy!
Yep.
They found Methy! in Lake Linville! Me and Janelle decided that we needed to, like, amp things up a bit. And we got bored, and so we drove the bulldozer hearse to Mount Vernon. And in Mount Vernon, we found a dollar store.
Because it's like the only store in Mount Vernon.
It's the only store in Mount Vernon. And so we went to Mount Vernon, and we purchased some tinfoil, some pool noodles, some smoke bombs, some rope, some duct tape, and we decided to go with my cellular device that I had just obtained to the lake. So we get down there, and we have constructed this monster that is up to 4 pool noodles long.
It's been spotted in the 20s, the 40s, 1972, and now today. I'm Jeeves McWalter McJeeves. And he's looking right at me. The elusive Methy the Myth Monster. He's asked me to go to the local tobacco shop and obtain him a glass pipe.
And its whole head was f***ing on fire. And it was going past the boat dock very slowly.
If you be real quiet, he'll stop coming asking you.
And all of a sudden we heard a whistle. It was like, whoo!
Hear it sing for a powdered mate.
And that was Methy looking for a mate. But we couldn't see the mate because we weren't moving fast enough. If any of that makes sense. So I think this woman found all the documentation that we left in our investigation and reenactment of Methy the Meth Monster, and now Methy lives. Some feel that the sightings are merely trash and debris littering the lake, but sadly to say, the most detailed information comes from a topics post started in September, warning people to stay away from Lake Linville. The poster relates a personal story about a bluish-green snake-like creature with a long neck and a long tail, and the head the size of a basketball that attacked their canoe, breaking it in half and leaving them for dead.
So that's your story?
That's their story. Help! I'm gonna pee! While many mocked the authenticity of this encounter, several others came forward with a similar, if not less dramatic encounter. We have their side piece down there!
We took too many allergy medicines and drank some weird wine.
That's the Kentucky gentleman.
What the hell?
It's hurting. It's, drugs are cool. Google everything. It's real on Google, I promise.
It's real on Google, I promise.
What's up, travelers? Van life, day 2.
Are you bringing a hunting rifle?
I am bringing a rifle. It's for the meth hogs. It's a 1941 unmarked bolt action World War I rifle that I inherited from my grandmother, and I am one heck of a shot with it.
I came out of that.
That was a pretty cool experience.
What, me coming out of you?
Yeah,
Oh.
I dug it. Yeah,
I dig it.
I did it, no drugs, 14 hours of pushing, and you were conceived via witchcraft on Y2K.
Yeah.
All these places people go and investigate that are haunted are so investigated out that if there is any such thing as energy in these places, it's gone because they scared the scary things away. So we need to go to the places that have not been done, you know, and listen to the people and what they experience. That's how you find your Oogie Boogies.
Your destination will be on the right.
150 Columbia Street. The Smokies are smoking.
Where are we again?
The International Paranormal Research Center in Somerset, Kentucky.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
There's 3 different rooms. You can take as many pictures as you like, film, whatever.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. Everybody knows her as Gladys the Mannequin. She's probably our most famous piece. She came from a local bookstore.
Wait a minute, was it the old bookstore by Kroger?
Yes, yeah.
I remember this. She fell on top of me a year before I got pregnant with her. They used to have her in like these weird biker shorts with glasses on her head and
I
stuff.
can vouch she's
Oh my gosh, that's you.
That's
You're
Gladys.
creepy, lady. Because I danced with her. She fell over on top of me and I was like, la, 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 la.
Maybe she was love struck.
I've had multiple people say that she's winked at them. Multiple people say that she's like changed her like facial features.
We had a blast. I mean, I was under the influence a little bit, but that was back in the day, you know.
Also, the leprechaun's cursed, so people like to coax him a lot. It was rumored that every person who would buy him from somebody would have something bad happen to them right after. I've had people come in here and apologizing. It's just the funniest thing to just be like, I'm sorry, leprechaun.
I was telling you about the meth hogs, and there they be.
I think that the most popular shadow person I've ever heard is the man in the top hat.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
I've drawn pictures of him. I have them dated. I've drawn pictures of him for years.
I've heard at least 10 accounts of this shadow person that everybody sees it. And I've seen it more than once here. It's just like a tall man in a top hat.
Because the things that I see are kind of Jack Skeleton-like, and I've been seeing them since I was like 6 years old. And they've got shadowy faces, and it almost, when they move, they kind of move like trees a little bit. And when they do that, their jaws just
Oh, I hate that.
swing.
I hate that.
I called them mamushkins when I was little because I didn't know what else to call them
Yeah.
because they were just. And then when I became a teenager, I realized that I didn't have imaginary friends, that I was seeing these things in hedgerows and on the side of the road and in weird places. In my grandfather's barn, and I was seeing them. I had one at the foot of my bed that grabbed me by the ankles and jerked me across my bed. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I went and got counseling, and I still see them. So I'm creeped out that I've been drawing since I was a little kid, and there's other people that seen these things because I don't really talk about it much to other people because I don't want people to think I'm crazy. So, which I am crazy, but like I'm medicated and I see a therapist. But I still see these things, and I've talked to my therapist about it, and she says that it's not relatable to my dissociative state. The cool thing I love about my therapist, and we're going to talk about therapy because that's important in these matters. She gave me a list of things called cognitive distortions when you first start out, because there's people running around here with depression, PTSD. You do hallucinate, you do hear stuff. But then there's the things that when you're fine, you're medicated, you're not stressing, and then you see it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, then you start popping out your camera, you start writing them down, then other people are talking about them too. And it's like, we can't all be sharing this. Yeah. There's that whole phenomenon that you can feed each other bull basically, and then everybody. You feed people that and they can feed it to you. But then there's just those moments, like just now, you know, because these are things that I only tell people that are close to me. Do you have any items in this building that pertain to time travel?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. It says in 1931, a doctor informed Bill A. Houston that his ailing kidneys were about to kill him. He was told by either an angel or a mysterious voice, accounts vary, to walk out to his door in a specific spot near his house, mark it with a stick, then drill a well exactly 252 feet deep. The water from that well, he was assured, would cure him. Bill A. Houston lived 22 healthy years drinking his miraculous water after he was told he was going to die. Do you want to drink one with us? Shot?
Sure.
Cheers to the creepies.
Cheers to the creepies, man.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. We're conducting our own investigations all around Kentucky. And like weird places that people don't hit, like in Renfro Valley. And we're going to Souls Chapel tonight.
Oh, good luck.
The first time I went there, I went with a group of my friends back in the day. This was before the chapel was burnt down.
Yeah.
When we got halfway down that road, I just got this real sick to gut feeling, and I was like, I don't know. I don't feel cool about going out here.
I've heard the same story from my mom. She wouldn't get out at all, and she just sat in the car when they went out there. And she said as soon as they left, all the doors locked, and she didn't touch it. They didn't have like key fobs back then, where you could lock your door from far away. I had a woman say that she got pushed and like scratched on the back and stuff, and that's a pretty common theme out there. Also, a pretty common theme is I've heard people being taken over by a poltergeist. I had one guy come in here about 2 years ago and would sit there and tell me about his sister that got attacked by werewolves. A vampire came into his house uninvited. He saw Bigfoot jump over a guardrail. And that's probably the worst one that I've ever heard because it was
There's
funny.
vampire werewolves and stuff because he visited Souls Chapel.
Yep.
My sister got attacked by a werewolf down there at Souls Chapel. It done diddly done it. I seen it. Growing up there was why I was f***ed up in school. Like I just couldn't function on a normal level with other people because I was seeing all this stuff, and I stayed in therapy and counseling and stuff like my whole life because I thought maybe I was losing my damn mind. And as soon as I moved away from there, it stopped. Like I said, you start to question your mental health when you see stuff and feel stuff, and it's like, religion aside, demons aside, I don't know what it is. I don't know, I'm kind of like Janelle, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but the things that I've seen have made me believe her. That's how we ended up chasing dead nuns in her basement, It's just been too odd in my life that these things have always happened around me, and something about Souls Chapel just started pulling me like crazy. And the fact that I've been there twice and I've refused to go in is one thing, and now I'm ready to go there. We're gonna have to walk from that point. I'm gonna ask these people if we can have permission to go here.
Walking to their doom. They're gonna be fine, right? So just to be clear, you met someone on the road on the way to a scary location, and now we're following that person.
Yes.
When you say it like that.
That's what good country people do. He's a Harley man.
Okay.
You can trust the Harley man.
that it? That's the cemetery. I see a cemetery.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually a little confused because so many things have been said. Why is this place famous? I honestly don't.
Cultist homicidal maniacs, long story short. So there are 2 recorded deaths on site of people getting shanked for Jesus.
It's been burned down 3 times, and the final blow was 2004 when the teenagers burned it down. A reverend came out of nowhere, decided he wanted to, build up a congregation. And there was this old empty church house left over from the Civil War, and nobody was using it. So Reverend Little, the first, came and started preaching here. The legend is, from Mr. Reverend Little, is that to fight off demonic forces in the area, killing people, he started off sacrificing animals in the name of the Lord. And then people's cattle and larger animals started going missing. And then a couple years later, people started going missing. Supposedly they came, people all out here through Somerset and in back haulers up and through here and stuff, came down here, locked everybody in this church and burned it down the first time. The second story is that his son moved off to another county, came back and rebuilt the church and started preaching again in the 60s. And that's when they started the whole satanic cult thing about this church. And they built another church over there to be the opposition and to defy and tell people not to come here because these people were not logical, they weren't of the Lord, things like that. And then it got burnt down again. There are newspaper articles about people being murdered and sacrificed here. And then if you start digging around in articles before 1920, you'll start seeing all the articles about people dying in the congregation here. So, but they always died of like mysterious circumstances. And then I think there was like 4 that I counted that just went missing. Feeling wise, dry mouth. Feel like there's some oogie kind of unmentionables going on here. There's like people left bones.
Like offering kind of things?
I don't know. There's bones.
Oh yeah. What kind of bone is that?
Everybody in here primarily died in the month of June or died in the month of May or died in the month of October. There's very few that died in the winter. There's very few that has died early spring. So June and October, which are planting seasons and harvesting seasons. Sabbaths.
Yep.
What was it? Abashed the devil stood and felt how awful goodness was. That quote. Abashed the devil stood and felt how awful goodness was. It's from The Crow. Souls Chapel, folks. Burnt to the ground.
Chapel.
There is a fuzzy plant though.
And Zephyr's butt.
There's fuzzy nettles. Did you?
Yeah.
Back when I was a teenager, you know how you go running around finding the spookies, you know?
Yeah.
There was a place on 27 in Somerset that her dad actually took me to. It was a private farm, and there was this weird cave system there.
Strawberry, I think it's in Nancy.
Yes!
Strawberry Road.
Yes!
I've heard that name thousands of times.
Our flashlight lights would not shine a foot in front of us, and all you could hear was this weird, like, it was guttural. It wasn't water. And I was terrified. I was like 19 when I went.
The whole cave system runs underneath there, and it runs through like the whole city and everything. We're also on the, they call it the Kentucky Anomaly, where
it starts in Renfrew.
Yeah, where the Platonic belts actually come down.
It starts in Renfrew right on my
yeah.
grandparents' property.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Rockcastle County, Somerset, Nancy, and then Burnside are the creepiest places I've ever been in my life. All right, so where we're going, my grandparents' farm has always sat on this like big cave system. And if you remember, we were talking about the Kentucky anomaly. It kind of starts in Renfro Valley like that line does. Essentially, we're going all down through here, which is my old stomping grounds where I grew up. And this is where I learned about spooky things in my life. My grandparents bought the farm, I guess, in the 80s. And the farm, I think, is at this point, I think it's like 287 years old. I was actually digging around in Rockcastle County's ledgers from the library, what I could find, and there was a lot of murders and a lot of like hanging of the people of color and things like that in that area. London, Somerset, Corbin is all connected in like a triangle. This is where a lot of the serious battles went on here in the state of Kentucky. So I'm really convinced, that it's all, the reason all this is a big southern Appalachian anomaly is because of that.
Because of what?
The death. I think there's just too much blood in the dirt. And I also think there are Appalachian granny witches and hoodoo priestess and voodoo priestess who were drug here not by their own accord.
I think you're haunted by white men.
Yeah.
I think you're haunted by white men.
Yeah.
And I think if there were any curses, they were absolutely justified.
Yeah. The spirits that may or may not be good or bad to other people are pretty good to me. And we've talked extensively. And it's been years since I've been to visit them. It's been since 2014, I think, was the last time we went to go visit. I found the other day that there's some guy that was down there doing photography. Watch out, Brian. Because there's some guy down there filming and doing photography, and he had died in the lake. And we've seen him down there, and other people have apparently seen him too.
A man in a hat?
Yeah.
What kind of hat?
It was just like one of those floppy fisherman hats.
What?
I just bought you a floppy fisherman hat.
You did today.
Round. It's kind of like one of those hats that Gilligan from Gilligan
That's
Islands
exactly what
wear.
Janelle-
That's what he was wearing when they
Here.
found him dead.
Let's go out to the van. I'll show you this. Here it is. The floppy hat of death and doom. I am total ghost bait. Bro. I'm gonna die so hard, bro.
So tonight, we're going to call upon the guidance of anyone here who has magical peoples in their ancestral line, which I've got pretty strong ties to such folks as Bathory and things like that in my lineage, and of course everybody in the Poetic Edda, like Frost Giants and if that counts, and that means Zephyr does too.
I'm a frost dwarf.
And also we're going to do a little spell to open up the spirit world for 3 days. So if anybody's squeamish of blood, look away. My family lives up that hill. All that darkness right there, that hill, is our land. All that. Me and my papa were checking mail, and then as we was pulling up to check the mailbox, I saw something teal blue sticking out right there, and a pocketbook. And we called the police, and sure enough, there was a woman with her breasts cut off, shoved inside the culvert.
Jesus.
Yeah. So welcome to Buckeye Christian Church Road. This is the road where the White Witch lives. People would see her naked, wading through the water, singing. So I spent a lot of years, the days of my youth, tracking that lady down. I think I found her there. Right here, me and my sister were walking on a snowy day, and this is the first time I knew something weird was going on here. But me and my sister were walking here on a snowy day, and we found a pair of underwear full of guts. We both kind of freaked out and just turned around and walked back up the hill and went home. This is where the church used to be, and they just tore it down a month ago. 1804 it was built. So I don't like this place. It had windows and whatnot, And sometimes walking down the road, you'd see things in the windows. And, you know, they used to have a congregation, and then they just shut it down, and nobody knows why. Like, abruptly. They just quit services abruptly. Like, I mean, never again, and people are, you know, asking, when is there going to be Sunday service, blah, blah, blah. Nobody would talk about it. Nothing. Just, boof, done. Everything done. And then last month, they tore it down. Don't know why. I know that Mullen Station was used to mine limestone. Then it housed TNT.
That's bizarre.
It's a TNT storage facility.
What the f*** was that? Something just whispered at me.
I heard it.
Yeah. Like real clear. Like over the heat, over everything, and it wasn't an animal. There it is again.
I heard things. I heard I don't know. I don't know what it said. But I heard something.
Like a voice, like speaking.
Yeah. It's almost like something said hush.
We're here where the church used to be.
A month ago.
A month ago.
I'm gonna take some moments here to kind of meditate. This is I'm taking you to the cemetery I found.
So you found this cemetery?
Yes, when I was young, and they replaced a lot of the tombstones because they were sunk in holes. See how they got the ground all solidified with creek bedrock and stuff? This wasn't here, it was just a bunch of rot and ruin, and these were the graves that I found. I think people were still burying people up here in the like 70s and 80s and stuff, but it was all grown up. This fence was not here, none of this was here. The only thing I stumbled across was these. And of course you can tell they're like really blah, but this was all grown up. I mean, it all looked like what my papa calls shoemakes, which is like those big growth weeds and stuff over there. They could get as taller than you. And it was that's all this was back here.
So what is this?
This is lily of the valley. It is the second most poisonous plant in America, at least.
Like really, if you touch it, you get sick?
You will die. Yeah, you bleed out of your orifices. This is a very rare plant.
The lily of the valley is actually a very important flower to the Slavs. It's not belladonna per se, but it is in that category. I felt welcomed, like there was a present for all of us. There happened to be 5, I don't know if you noticed, but there happened to be 5 shoots that were flowering, which is the number of people we were down there. I thought that was a neat synchronicity.
So what's back here?
A portal.
A portal?
There's a natural arch, and then look at that one.
Yeah, that's a portal. Let's go through it. We're gonna walk through the portal now. What is this? Oh, wow. That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. This place means a lot to me. I miss it here. Everybody has that place when they were a child where their imagination ran wild, and the last time that I took somebody to this place, there were literal branches and an X mark, which kind of like tell you no. If I talk too much about it, I'm gonna cry, because it was a place I would go to kind of remember the beauty in the world. And it was a place I went to replenish myself, and I felt that these things and energies around me, you know, mended my heart, and in turn me being grateful for that mending, that I mended theirs. And it's been a while since I've been there, and I feel a little selfish, but I'm gonna let them know that. This is a really beautiful place, and it's a very serene place, and that we miss being in the woods because the woods are being taken away from us slowly over time, so we can have Walmarts and shopping centers.
Expressway's 20 feet away.
Yeah, so we can have all that important stuff.
Salamander. Fresh in the spring. Caught him in just a couple seconds.
I need to put him back where he came from.
I do. He's still in a larval phase. He still has little gills.
What the hell's going on? He's like, I gotta breathe. Anybody who wants to be a part of being awakened for the next 3 days past the lunar eclipse, then you can participate. Okay, what we're working with is Volk road opening, asking the spirits or any one of our ancestors that used to practice the old ways, if they accept our offering, they will open up roads for us for 3 days only, because that's all they can muster. This is not any religion. This is just, there's no religion involved in this whatsoever. You offer the rose petals from funerals of loved ones. You burn them in the offering, in the ash. This is an amulet that belonged to my great grandmother, I guess. This is a smoky quartz, which is a spiritual doorway opener. It attracts spirits. It's like a beacon of light to spirits. This is also a gift from my grandmother, who I'm asking for help with. This is an axe head that was found on this property that I've brought as my chosen altar at the moment. And this is our center. And if you don't know what that is, this is my own personal little god that I found here about 28 years ago. I found my witch's eye.
What's a witch's eye?
A witch's eyes. It shows you portals and dimensions of other worlds and planes of existence in the land of the Fae. This bracelet here is a gift from my biological mother's people. It's all malachite, which was blessed by quite a few ancestral witches. My great grandma did a lighter version of this using what she had, which is what most Volk people do. I'm really fancy, so I like to have all my stuff at hand. Volk isn't something you're gonna find in a book. Volk's passed down. Zephyr, do you want to be a part of this?
My mom was like, do you want to be part of this ritual? I didn't really have intentions to, because I didn't feel like, that's not any offense to you guys, but I was like, I don't know if I really have place in this. I had my little bucket flashlight with me, and I was just kind of looking at the ground, making sure I wasn't going to step on anything, and I just saw little beady glowing eyes, and I just turned my flashlight again to look at the water, and there was a female water moccasin, almost 5 feet, just staring up out of the water, just staring at me.
There's a water moccasin staring right at me.
That ain't good. Don't get near it, Zephyr. If it bites you, She is not shy, is she?
Oh no, they never are.
She's gonna come right the up here.
I just kept staring at her until she left. She just kind of swiveled down, and my mom made sure to. Ooh, she hucked a rock away from her in order to not hurt her.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zephyr, but we don't need that.
No, we don't. She needed to leave because she's very dangerous. They will put you in the hospital immediately, so... I always find a snake no matter where I go. Snake always follow me. You know, it's been an ongoing joke. Every time we're outside, they're like, Z, there's a snake, tell him to go home. And I'm like, sorry.
So why did you end up doing the ritual?
I don't know. Something in that snake's beady little eyes was like, do it.
All right, so I haven't done this in years. I hope it works. I feel good about it because of the lily. All right, and what I'm using to light this is pretty gross, but it's a piece of paper that's been soaked in my pee. Nice. So...
For me, nothing unusual about that.
Right, I mean, It is what it is. Unfortunately, I don't know Roma too well, and I definitely don't know Valk too well, but Vok umen vamla, non goja in Romana. And now we join hands. Okay, and the words are: from each of us, from unknown homes, we open up the place where they roam. From altar God, not here nor there. Fear not, and come unto us here. We call upon mother, father, sister, brother, son, from ancient past. Let us be one. Open up the door for us to see, and know that we do not fear ye. Got a good drop of blood in there on each candle. Okay. Ash to road and road to ash. We ask you open. Did you hear that? Yeah. Oh, there's stuff moving around. Oh no, but did you hear this hiss? Did you see that? Hopefully this works for us.
It was my very first ritual with other people. I'm kind of the wanderer on this adventure because I don't know exactly where I stand, but I'm open to everything and I just wanted to have fun, and then weird things keep happening to me, and
That was the first time we got to do something like that together.
yeah, for sure.
You okay? How you feeling?
I don't know, I just sat down and got really whoosh and nauseous. Yeah.
Our voices we were hearing.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's always gonna be over your shoulder too.
It's still here. Yeah, it's not gone. Yeah, I heard it walk up on us. And I was like, oh, hello.
We're hearing some really weird stuff out here. We just opened a gate, as Danelle said. And for the next 3 days, I expect that maybe weirdness is going to happen.
What is it? Oh,
it's a very toxic millipede.
Why are you finding all of the poisonous things? Everything, we found 3 things out here that can kill us.
Because once upon a time, there was someone who got really, really mad a couple of years ago because people won't stop logging and digging ditches and bulldozing stuff, and they put a hex on this place in hopes that nature will fight back with its all to make them stop and get the out.
He's pretty though, isn't he?
The logging company came back here and I put a hex on them. You can see where they started cutting and stuff and parts. Then they stopped cutting. I don't know why.
All right, I have been double dog dared to walk down a road alone.
Walking along this road where I just saw a person.
Keep going.
Rock just in front of the sky.
Let's check it out first.
One of the things that I keep talking to Brian about is that honestly, I don't know if it's just who I am or my blood or my nature, but I can't help, like, I have to root for the underdog.
Me too.
You know? So like for me, like, I don't like the thought of ghost hunting. I like ghost helping.
Me too.
I'm like, ghosts need friends too.
Alright, what's out there? Or who's out there?
I don't know, you tell us.
Did you make a friend?
She was over in the woods most of the time. There would just be like rocks that fell right next to me and sounds right in the bushes, but never. I don't know.
How old did she seem?
Old, very old, but not. She didn't look old. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Yeah, she wasn't. I don't think she was. She didn't seem like negative. She was just
neutral.
Well, wary. Wary is the
That
word.
makes sense.
Wary is the word.
That's one of the reasons why some places are haunted and that it's not spooky evil witches. It's like a white man.
Evil white men doing evil. Also, I think that places need to be haunted so people will keep the magic alive in their hearts and stop being so crass about everything. Where you come to get your solace is also where you come to get rid of your demons sometimes. And funny thing is about family, me and my brother, we're not close. As a matter of fact, we don't really even get along. But one day, after Granny died, and I think you remember me telling you about this, I came down here to kill myself. And I had parked my car down over there in that field, and I had walked across the field and went to the culvert to slit my wrists and die inside the culvert and drown. And out of nowhere, my brother comes flying down this road on a four-wheeler. And he starts screaming, hey, what are you doing over there? Because he knew it was my car. And I come back out, I guess, driven by shame, I guess. Because when you get caught trying to kill yourself, you feel guilty. And this was before I got help. And my brother sat in the car with me. He brought me back to the car, and he sat in the car with me, and we didn't say nothing much to each other. He just said, you ain't okay, are ya? And I said, no. He said, I mean, you really ain't okay, are ya? I said, no. And we just sat there together till the moment passed. It was the most beautiful sunset you ever saw.
To Red Bull or not to Red Bull?
The place that we're going to is a quarry. Quarry. It's already its own cave system. It's like the ass end of Saltpeter, which is a famous cave, which is also another channel of Mammoth Cave. There are so many people that just die there all the time. Like, people just kill people endlessly and dump bodies there, like, to this day. But people just are murderous as hell down there, and so I'm kind of spooked.
We ain't crossing no railroads. We're going the devil's path.
Oh, jeez. This isn't creepy at all. We've reached the end of the line.
go. Yeah, we go down here. We go across the bridge and we make a left. And that takes us to the tunnel. You all don't think I can make it?
I wouldn't try it. You're gonna break something. It's not worth it.
I know the back way to Mullen Station that's a little bit more stable.
We took a different way when we came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep coming. You're good. Come on. Yep, you got plenty of room.
Y'all can't say I don't have too much fear in my bones.
No.
I would have tried it.
I know you would have.
Better believe it. We had all decided to turn around, and I was just, for some reason, feeling like putting the window down and started whistling. And the second that Zephyr was sitting in the back seat, she says, "Mom, don't whistle out the window."
We're in the Appalachians. And as a joke, I slided to my mom and I was like, please don't whistle with the windows rolled down at night. And I get cut off because my mom's headlights hit some eyes in the field.
There's the deer. I know we're watching them though.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I didn't have to say anything. I made a joke about them being not deer after we left, but in that moment, I said, if they smile, drive faster.
There's deer.
You're not supposed to say the name of the flesh pedestrian, but the not deer, for lack of a better word, are skinwalkers. It was just kind of ironic that I made that joke and then two deer just beamed their eyes at the front of the car.
And so you were making a joke about she's going to attract not deer.
Yeah.
In the late 80s, early 90s, I had found books on the Green Man. And, you know, you start doing your research and you find out that the Green Man is actually pulled from, you know, legends of Pan, Puck, and Ceranos, which is the horned god. And I was like, oh, I want to know this guy, you know, and I'm like a kid, and I'm like, it says here that you can summon this man. So I did that. It was back when I used to with that I didn't know what I was with. And so I did that with a group of friends, and I would say that I had something of a possession. It was very, almost like a psychotic break in a way, in which you feel like something has taken you over. You no longer have control of yourself or your bodily functions. I was borrowed. I'll just say I was borrowed for about 10 minutes, to the point that people were freaking out, dragging me across the floor, trying to fight me, and I don't know what happened in those moments. And after that, every day of my existence, I just started getting surrounded by deer. You know, deer are very common. It's just when I see them in certain settings, like, I feel a pit in my stomach. Like I get like a knot in my throat, and then it moves down to my stomach, and then it just rests there, and then I feel like heat is coming out of my eyes. I've been in car accidents where I'll see a deer 15, 20 minutes before the accident will occur. I see deer walking in groups and numbers, certain numbers, and things stick out to me now that I'm knowledged. And I'll get phone calls of people dead or dying. It's like, if I was going to borrow them, they're going to borrow me, I guess. Sometimes they don't bother me at all. I'm like, oh, there's deer, you know, but then there's moments like, I mean, just opening a gateway, asking for ancestors to guide you on a spiritual journey for the next 3 days. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, you've just opened yourself to everything. So when you get a sign, you get your sign. When nature comes to disrupt my everyday living, my plastic human life, I feel like I should listen. And I'm a little bit afraid, nervous, but also respect it deeply. Who knows, maybe I'm haunted by Ceranos or not deer or deer or...
So where are we?
We're at Mullen Station. It's the hellmouth of Kentucky. So you guys ready to party?
Yeah, this is definitely where you would go to dump a body.
Oh, hey, yeah. Shotgun shells. Told you.
There are legitimately a lot of murders here. There's places on the news all the f***ing time. It's sad that there's reasons people do the crime because this place has got that pink energy, that anomaly energy that we're talking about.
This is super creepy. Shine your light at the ceiling there, but... Oh, wow.
Chasm.
Jeez. It's so big.
So, I'm gonna... Alright, so guys, hang on. Hello? Hello?
I guess we're going in.
Many places to go.
Can everyone shine their light into the hole? I just want to see if I can kind of get it on camera. Oh my god. Well, this is a horror movie.
It's like The Descent.
Does it say puck?
That's what I thought it said. I'm
It
pretty
says-
sure it says but
But it says puck.
So at my house, things will sometimes fall off the wall or things will go missing and then appear in weird places. And me and Janelle always joked, she said that it was a domovoy that lived under my stove. I just kind of started calling it Puck. Puck even has his own little altar at my house with a candle and, you know, whiskey that I leave for him.
But it looks like it says puck.
I know.
Whether it does or not, that's how the universe works.
Also, when Danelle was talking about having her experience with Ceranos, she pointed out that Ceranos, the horn god, is also called Pan and Puck.
Legends of Pan, Puck, and Ceranos, which is the horned god. It says here that you can summon this man, so I did that.
So it's strange that there's this word on the wall that seems like a reference to a possession that Danelle experienced decades ago on the same night that we have a strange experience with that and see deer as we're making jokes about it.
You know, deer are very common. It's just when I see them in certain settings, like just opening a gateway, I feel a pit in my stomach.
It's probably just profanity scrolled on a wall that has no relevance at all, but it's interesting how the mind can draw these conclusions and find these connections. And I think that sets the tone for what happened next.
blind curve there goes to some pretty wicked bad deals.
In editing this, I realized that next to Puck, there is graffiti that says "That It," and it's got an arrow. It's pointing right to the blind curve where we heard the voices and where Danelle says that they blasted and hit an old cave system.
They blew the cave because it opened up into another cave system that they didn't know anything about. And it's the one that goes to Somerset.
My theory is that maybe when they were blasting, they might have woke something up or let something out.
That was maybe the weirdest place I've been. I'm still hearing sounds. I don't know what that was either. I heard voices. I heard whispering. I felt things.
You should tell Brian what you had a dream about last night.
What?
Dying in a cave.
You had a dream about dying in a cave last night?
Oh yeah, where I slipped in some mud and went down a hole, broke both of my legs.
Something followed us out.
I heard a voice.
Something's in that cave.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
We were hearing things, trying to figure out if it's...
Oh yeah, there's lots of things here.
There's a lot of things here.
It's fun.
What's going on? What did I miss?
What's up, Z?
Sorry.
I'm gonna read
Can I prop
this.
myself on you for a second, Mom?
Yeah.
We were out of the cave, and was it just because of the residual of that, or was something else happening?
God, man, if I'll be honest, I don't really know. I've been there so many times. Well, I mean, twice isn't so many times, but still,
It was just, you were the person I thought we would all creep ourselves out, and you would just be like, it's just bats, but to see you scared, I was actually like, oh, maybe something's actually happening.
I just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just felt really unwelcome and like things were about. It felt like something was about to happen the whole time. Like I felt like I was like someone was just holding me by the shirt and I was about to fall off a cliff. There's an intention feeling, and I didn't feel safe anymore. The heart rate's just really fast and I can't get it to come down, and I'm like...
What kind of doodads did you guys bring in?
Hey.
You guys heard what I heard in the cave, right?
Yes.
Like,
I don't know.
very clear human talking voices.
Yes.
I thought someone was in there with us.
And that's why I brought you here.
I've never heard anything that clear.
People love to shoot people in their houses around here because they think it's like a, for the southern Appalachian people, it's a mark of pride. Well, I shot him right in his fucking butthole, you know, and damn it, with me. You know, there are people like that here. But why bring people here, torture them, and leave them here to die? Is what I want to know. Why here?
There are certain places that have that type of energy.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think this is one of those
This
places.
is definitely one of those places.
Sheriff won't come here. Police won't come here. I just want to take the little bleep bleeper.
Which is going off.
Well, I think we should go a little bit closer to the cave.
I don't know. I think there's stuff all over here.
Oh, yeah.
God, did you see that? The second I said, I think there's stuff all over here. What the f***?
There's so much stuff over
What the f***? I've never seen that happen.
I told you that
We're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no electricity.
I told you that people die here. I mean,
And then it's gone. It's gone. Oh. Until I paid attention to it, and then it's back. The second I looked at it. The pulsing, though. Like, why would it pulse? And then it's done.
we need.
And then it's up to 5. Can you make that go up to 5? Can you make the red light go on? Please.
Do you hear the talking? It just went to 5. Go.
I've never f***ing seen that in my life.
Janelle, you're missing it. He's over here in his pants. Yeah, they're all over.
Are you here? Can you make it go to 0? Can you make it go to 0 for a second? Thank you. Now can you make it go to 5? Okay, can you make it go to 0 again? What the f***? Heard voices again.
Do you all need help? Does anybody here need help? Does anybody here need to be freed? Is anything here trapped? Or have you always been here? You ask it, Brian. Oh.
Always been here.
Always been here. Are you my leprechauns that's been watching me since I was little? Because I know where you come from. And I've seen you everywhere my whole life. I've seen your dangly jaws and your big old long legs. I know what you is. I'm not kidding. These things have terrorized me my whole life, Janelle. Out in the trees, because this, if you go down the road on down there, that's Brush Creek off the railroad tracks right to the farm. And it goes to the farm, and they know me. I've asked you permission, and so I'm grateful for you for showing yourself and talking to me and them, especially Brian. But I don't understand why so many people's got... God.
What did you see? What?
Are you mad at me? You know I'm scared of you though, right? Should I be scared of you? Or should I just be a kid like I've always been? I think they went to sleep. I think they're done. They're done. They don't want no more. They're finished. My light is really getting dim.
I just want to point out, as we're approaching the cave, the bird starts chirping again.
Yeah.
What you said, bird chirps are warnings.
This is a good spot. I didn't have many cookies left.
So what are you doing?
We're leaving them offerings. What we have was animal cookies and pennies. Okay, well, great. They're tired. I swear they are. Can we bid you good night? Or have you already gone to bed?
Thank you for allowing us to come visit. We've left you some offerings. They're out of respect and appreciation. Thank you.
I started this project with the idea that I wanted to have an adventure where I could connect with spirits and energies, and hopefully the universe would lead me in a certain direction. All the things that happened to us were confusing and interesting and a little scary. It was a strange journey where we got turned around and put on different paths that we didn't expect, and synchronicities, you know, the Puck synchronicity, the Cyranos synchronicity, the deer, finding all these poisonous animals at the same time that we're doing a ritual to ask for guidance. There was a lot of things swirling around. But really, when I sit down and think about it now, after the fact, what it really led me to is reconnecting with people who I love, who I can be crazy around, who I can act silly around, who I can decide to believe in aliens and ghosts and demons and blood rituals and magic around. And I hope this is just the beginning. I hope we get to go on more adventures, but I definitely feel more confident leaving my house and more free to be myself and to surround myself with people who accept me for who I am.
So ever since we started doing our little adventures and stuff, it's like working out, because like I'm like inspired to do stuff and get my life together, and like I feel better in general, like just adventuring with you guys and doing stuff.
I thought it was going to be about ghosts and spirits, but it's about living your life the way you want to, with the people that you want to share it with. Good enough.